Okay, welcome back. It's Mr. Purdy on Friday, recording another video for you. So let me tell you a little bit about this. By the way, I figured out Mimeo. I figured out how to record Mimeo. Let's just fingers crossed, hoping and praying that this works. I guess I'll find out. Anyway, I hope all of you are well. You continue to stay safe and healthy. Here's our plan. Here's our plan. This is week 5. Our plan is I'm going to show you 2 more factoring problems that we didn't get to last time, and then I'm going to do 2 kind of Algebra 2 lessons. Why? First of all, it's something that we do in honors anyway, in Algebra 1 honors, and second of all, it's just something I just kind of want to finish this unit this week, and that way we can get to a couple weeks of quadratics, and that's kind of finishes the picture, solving these and going all the way and getting the answer that we want. So that's kind of the idea here. Okay, let's do this one together. I will have all of these problems and the live synchronous problems on a worksheet for you. The homework, so this Algebra 2 stuff will not be part of a homework assignment. I'm going to give you a factoring quiz, which will not be a quiz per se. It will be just a worksheet of nothing but factoring problems. All of the factoring problems that we've done. I just want to see, and more importantly, I want you to see that you really understand it. And again, really no need for solutions because you can just FOIL check everything. So this is really an important week, this week 5. We're going to finish this unit, and then I'm going to give you an assignment with all the factoring that we've ever learned, 3 weeks worth of factoring on one piece of paper. It'll be something like 12 questions, something like that. All right, I haven't put it together yet, but it'll be something like that. And I will have everything posted in Google Classroom and Blackboard. All right, let's go through this. Here's the idea. Remember our question, can we factor anything out? Nope. Anything a perfect square? 5 is not a perfect square, and there's 24. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take 5 and multiply it times 24, and we're going to get $120. 120. And then we want factors of 120 that when we subtract, give us 14. And that's going to be 20 and 6. 20 and 6. Remember, 20 times 6 is 120, and 20 minus 6 will give us 14. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to write 5x squared. These last 2 problems, there's 2 more factoring problems I want to show you today. Now, here's the idea. We're going to drop the 5x squared down. We're going to write negative 14. Remember, we need negative 14, so we need to use these 2 numbers in such a way that we need to get negative 14. That's why I'm saving this for last. This is the hardest part of factoring. So what we're going to do is we're going to write negative 14 as negative 20. Remember, you got to get negative 14, so we're going to go negative 20x plus 6x. See, there's your negative 14x, negative 20x plus 6x. When you combine these, you get negative 14. And then move down the negative 24. Okay, now, what's common in these first 2 terms is 5x. We've done so many of these by now. So 5x, divide by 5x, so you're going to get x minus 4. If you want to continue when you do grouping, if you want to continue to use my trick, you may. You know this has to be x minus 4. So the question is, what number is going to go here? And that's going to be a plus 6. Because see, you can factor out a 6 with both of these. So your answer, and you can FOIL check this, is 5x plus 6, 5x plus 6, and x minus 4. And we're done. Okay, this is on video, so I'm going to keep moving. Just pause, rewind it if you need to. I'm going to keep moving. Okay, this one here. This is one that was very, very similar to an SOL question last year. Students had to realize that we can factor something out. So we're going to factor out a 4. 4 goes into all of these. So we're going to get 2x squared, divided everything by 4, minus x minus 15. This is a great factoring problem. I would say if you can do this one, you can do it all. This has everything. This has factoring something out, the ghost 1, last term is negative, so we have to subtract our factors. I mean, it's just a mess. Okay, nothing else, a perfect square, nothing else can be factored out, so we're gonna deal with this. So we're gonna take 2 times 15, and we're gonna get 30. Now we want factors of 30 that when we subtract, because the last term is negative, so we're subtracting, we got to get 1, so 6 and 5. See, 6 times 5 is 30, and 6 minus 5 is the 1 right here, the ghost 1. Now, in fact, let's bring the 4 down. We don't need the 4. Let's bring the 4 down right here. We don't need the 4. So what we're going to have now is 2x squared, 2x squared. Okay, we need a negative 1 here. We need a negative 1, so we need to use these two numbers to get a negative 1. So we're going to go negative 6x plus 5x. See, there's your negative 1. Negative 6x plus 5x is negative 1, and then minus 15. Okay, and now the rest is pretty easy. We can factor out a 2x. We can factor out a 2x, right? And we're going to get x minus 3. Okay, here we can factor out a 5. And divide by 5, you're going to get x minus 3. Still writing with this mouse, sorry. If we continue this distance learning and it just becomes this thing and I'm making more and more videos, I need to go out and buy myself the necessary equipment, a stylus pen and a right laptop that can fold down the whole shebang. But we'll just see. Okay, and we're done. And I will just put a little box around your answer, and that is it. And this can be checked. I've showed you how to check this. You could FOIL these two binomials and then distribute the 4, and you'll get your original answer. Okay, let's move on. Part of this lesson today and part of Algebra 1 Honors deals with division. But before we do division, I need to show you really quickly here. Remind you how to do long division, because when we do the algebra version of this, which is the next slide, it's almost the same thing. Okay, just a quick little refresher. All right, when you learned this a long time ago, you had to ask yourself, does 42 go into 1? Nope. Does 42 go into 15? Nope. Does 42 go into 159? Yes, it does. And I would say 3 times. So we're going to put the 3 right above the 9. That's the way my teacher had us do it. Now, think about this. What did you do at this point? You probably took 3 times 42, and what you got is 126. 126. See what I did? I took 3 times 42 and got 126. Now, what did you do at this point in elementary school? You subtracted, didn't you? And when you subtracted, you got 33. You remember this. 42 doesn't go into 33, so what'd you do? You brought down the next number. You brought the 1 down. Now, 4 goes into 33 about 8 times, I believe. 8, is that going? No, 8's going to be a little bit too big. I think we need to go 7. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1, 29. I think this is going to be just a little bit smaller than 42. You're going to get 7, and that's 32, 3, 37. And then what'd you do? 42 doesn't go into 37, so you brought the 8 down. Now this should be an exact answer. This is going to go in 8, 9 times. So you take 9 times 2 is 18. Carry the 1. You get 37. Subtract. Remainder of 0. And you know your answer. Now, how do you know this is the answer? You know 379 is the answer because 379, now I'm not going to show you long multiplication. You know that this is the answer because 379 times 42, if you do all that, is 15,918. Well, that's how you checked it. You did this way back in the day. Okay, now, if you know all that, then you can do this. Now, you could just factor this trinomial, just like you've learned, to get this and the answer. But I'm going to show you how to get it backwards. And here's what you do. Now, you might have to pause and rewind this video a few times and blah, 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 because this is going to be a little tricky at first. All right, here's what you do. There is a ghost 1 here. And what you want to do is you want to take the first term here, which is 3x squared, and divide it by 1x. Don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about the negative 4. Don't worry about this. And so here's what you want to do. And off to the side, I'll show you what I mean. We're going to take 3x squared. We're going to take 3x squared and divide it by 1x. Now think about what that is. We're going to take 3x squared and divide it by 1x. Well, that's going to be 3. And then x squared divided by x is just x, is it not? I believe so. So what do? Now, just like you did in 3rd and 4th grade when you did this, now I'm going to take our 3x and multiply it by 1x and 4. So basically we're going to distribute a 3x. If you can watch my pointer here, we're going to distribute the 3x to x minus 4. So what you can take is 3x times 1x, which is 3x squared. So see, you should always have the first term should always be the same. Now you take 3x times negative 4, which is negative 12x. By the way, you will do much longer division when you get to Algebra 2. We're just going to show you the basics this year. Now, what you do in elementary school? Well, you subtract it. Well, these should always cancel. When you do this right, these should always cancel. Now, here's what you have now. You have negative 7x minus 12x. Think about that. Negative 7 minus 12 is 5. So 5x. Now, you can't divide a 2 term into a 1 term, so we need to bring the next term down. So now, to get our answer, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take 1x, don't worry about anything else, and divide it into 5x. Now, think about what that is. Off down here, I'll do this for you. 5x divided by 1x is actually just 5, is it not? And it's positive 5. So now, 3x plus 5. So now what we do is we take, don't worry about the 3x, we're going to take the positive 5 and distribute it to the x minus 4. So think about 5, just 5, positive 5 times 1x is 5x. And then positive 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. So you should always have, if there's no remainder, this should always be the same. So when you subtract, this is gone, there's no remainder, and there's your answer, 3x plus 5. All right, you're going to have to just pause the video, rewind the video, just keep watching it. You'll get it. I promise you, you'll get it. Let's try 2 more. Okay, so here's the idea. You want to take the first term here and divide it by the first term here. Now think about 3 goes into 15 5 times. X, think about x, just x, goes into x squared x times. And if you're not sure, just write it off to the side like I did. 15x squared divided by 3x is 5x. Now, take 5x times 3x, and you're going to get the same thing. You should always have the same thing. If you don't, you did something wrong. The first term should always be the same. Now, 5x times negative 2 is negative 10x. Okay? Now, be careful here. You're subtracting. You're subtracting. So when you subtract, this is gone, always. So now you're going to have 11x minus 10x, and that's 21x. 21x, yes it is. 21x, and then bring down the negative 14. Watch your signs. So now, 3x goes into 21x. So you're taking 21x divided by 3x, which is positive 7. Now, distribute the 7, and you're going to get 21x, 7, see the plus 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. If you have exactly the same thing like I do, it's gone and you're done. Now, how would you check this? You would take 3x minus 2, just like you did in elementary school, only we're going to deal with polynomials instead of numbers. You take 3x minus 2 times 5x plus 7. And when you FOIL or distribute this, you should get what was under the division sign, which is this, 15x squared plus 11x minus 14. Okay. Pause, take a deep breath, Mr. Free. You can do this. Okay. Next one. Normally I'd say, hey, you try, but it's a video. Let me just keep going. 36, take the first term divided by the first term. I hope most of you are kind of catching on now, and you're going to get 9x. Remember, we're going to do this on Tuesday and Thursday next week, so we'll do this live also, so you can ask me questions. But please try this yourself first. 9x times 4x. If the live classes are the first time you're looking at things, that's not helping you, okay? The live classes are good, but by then, you should already have watched the video and tried some of these, okay? The live class will go a lot easier for you, or there won't be as many questions if you've done your work, okay? Don't let the Tuesday, Thursday class be the first time you're seeing this stuff. Okay, subtract. These are gone. 41 minus 45 is negative 4. Negative 4x minus 5. Now, there's a little trick here. Now, same idea. We're going to take the 4x and divide it by negative 4x. So we're going to take negative 4x. Let me show you. We're going to take this first term here and divide it into this first term. So what you basically have is negative 4x divided by 4x. Well, is that not just negative 1? It sure is. So now, take negative 1 times each one of these, and you're going to get exactly the same thing you had, and we're done. That's it. 9x minus 1. And that is division for this year. You will do longer, you'll do this with longer problems in Algebra 2. Okay, the last little part here, and I just have 2 problems to show you, and then we're done. Hopefully my video is holding out. 2 more problems to show you. What I'm going to show you this is how to multiply rational means fractions, rational polynomials like this. So what we have to do is take this big trinomial times this and this times this. But before we do that, we can cancel a bunch of stuff out. Now, you cannot start canceling. In fact, I'm going to go and just do it. What I'm doing now, you cannot do. See how I'm just canceling stuff? You cannot do any of this. 7 and 28, you can't do any of that. Why? Because these are expressions. They're not just numbers. They're expressions. So you're going to have to simplify these as much as you can. Now, here's what we're going to do. This is not hard. It's going to take a while. What we're going to do now is take this top one here and factor it. This is back to some of the basic factoring. X squared. Now, 28. 28, we want factors of 28 that when we subtract, we get 3. Because when it subtracts, it's a negative sign. And that's going to be 7 and 4. So I'm going to write the 3x as plus 7x minus 4x minus 28. So what I'm going to have is, when you factor something out here, you're going to have x and then x plus 7. And this is going to be another x plus 7. Remember, I'm only working on this part right here. And that's going to be negative 4. So we're going to have, in fact, I'm going to write it right here because I'm going to run out of room real quick. I'm going to have x minus 4, x minus 4. What we're going to do is we're going to simplify everything, and we'll just write it up top here, and then x plus 7. Okay, now I'm going to erase that. So this part right here has already been, oh shoot, daggone it, I was on the eraser. What was that? X minus 4. Yes, and x plus 7. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just erase this because all of that has become this. See, we want to simplify this now. Now let's go here. It doesn't matter which order you go. Let's factor an x out. So I'm going to take x, and then I'm going to factor out x plus 5. Okay, that part's done. Think back to difference of 2 squares. X squared minus 25 is x plus 5 and x minus 5. These are actually kind of fun. I enjoy these. I remember when I was a student, I enjoyed these. I did this in Algebra 2, not in Algebra 1. Did this in Algebra 2. Now, everything's been simplified. Now, you can cancel entire expressions. So see how you have an x plus 7 here and x plus 7 here. Okay, so if they're on the same level, you can't cancel. But if they're on different levels, you can even cancel above or diagonally. So I can see this x plus 7. I can cancel that and that. That's gone. See the x plus 5? I can cancel x plus 5, and I can cancel this x plus 5. And so our answer is going to be x minus 4, and you can just usually leave it like this. X minus 4 times x minus 5 divided by x. And you can't cancel anything here. You're done, and there's your answer. I will have more of these on the notes. I will have more of these on the live classes and that kind of thing. Okay, let me do one more and I'll close this video. Okay, this is going to take a minute. All right, let's start with this one here. Okay, so we have x squared x squared minus 3x minus 18. You're always welcome to pause the video and try this yourself and then play it. You're welcome to do that. Okay, I'm going to factor this. So I'm going to go x squared. I want factors of 18 that when we subtract give us 3. That's 6 and 3. And we need to get negative 3. So we're going to go negative 6x, negative 6x. Sometimes I'm kind of like hitting myself. It's like, why did I give you such a long problem? This is going to be a long problem, but we can do it. Okay, what's common here is x. We're going to go x. We're going to go x minus 6. Last problem on the video, though. Okay, what's common here is a 3. And when you divide by 3, you're going to get x minus 6. Lo and behold. So now, up top here, I'm going to write what we have. We have x plus 3. So we factored this part, x plus 3. Now, of course, you've got to factor these the right way. And then x minus 6. Okay. Now, I'm going to erase this as I go, so make sure you get all this down. Okay, and we don't need this anymore. Okay, all of that became the two binomials. Now, I'm going to erase. Okay, because I'm going to run out of room real quick. Okay, doesn't matter what we do next. Let's do this one. Okay, nothing's perfect, so I'm going to take 3 times 6 is 18. So I'm going to get 3x squared. Remember, we want 18 now. Now we want factors of 18 that add up. See, this is positive. That add up to 19. It's going to be 18 and 1. 18 and 1. So we're going to have is 3x squared minus 18x minus 1x. I remember doing this problem in class last year. It took a while. Plus 6. Okay, so, well, what's common here is 3x. 3x, divide by 3x, and we're going to get x minus 6. Now, you know this has to be x minus 6. These last two terms, these last two has to be x minus 6. But what's going to go here is negative 1. So now, we are going to have 3x minus 1, 3x minus 1. And the neat thing about this is you know that something is going to cancel. So that when you do these, you know you're going to have some clones somewhere. In fact, we already do. See the x minus 6's, but I'm not going to do any canceling out yet. Okay, let's cross this out. Yeah, the fun part's at the end where you can just kind of slash everything away. Okay, let me erase this very carefully. Almost done, folks. Almost done, almost done, almost done. By the way, a little sidebar. Hope all of you are doing well. Just keep staying safe and healthy. We will reopen Virginia a little bit, hopefully next week. Okay, let's do this, the harder one first. 6 times 1 is 6. So now we want factors of 6 that when we subtract give us the ghost 1. So that's going to be 3 and 2. 3 and 2. This is the kind of video you might just have to pause and rewind a couple times during this problem. Okay, so 6x squared. Okay, we need a positive 1, so we're going to go 3x. Remember, we need to use the 3 and 2 to get a positive 1. So 3x minus 2x minus 1. Okay, now we can group. What's common is a 3x divide, and you're going to get 2x plus 1. 2x plus 1. Now you know this is 2x plus 1. And this has to be a negative 1. So now, what we're going to have here is, let me just erase this little part here. I don't need this. What we're going to have now is 3x minus 1. And there's that one, 3x minus 1. And 2x plus 1. Okay, almost done. Okay, let's factor the bottom right. Here's the bottom right, this one. And we'll remember what we want now. There's no number here, so this is pretty easy. We want a 6, and we want factors of 6 that when we subtract we get 5. So 6 and 1. So what we're going to go is x squared. Okay, we need a positive 5, so we'll go plus 6x minus 1x. If you're having trouble with any of this factoring, it is vital that you email me, folks. It is vital. Please email me. Okay? Factoring. You've got to walk away when the school year is over knowing you're factoring. Okay, what's common here is x. Divide by x. We're going to get x plus 6. Okay? And now you know this is x plus 6. And this has to be a minus 1. So now what you're going to have now is x minus 1, x minus 1, and x plus 6. I don't need this. Now, what can we cancel? Okay, let's take the 3x plus 1s here and here. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of the x minus 6's. And what we're going to have left is everything that's left. Now, you can leave them as parentheses, in parentheses, or you can actually FOIL the top and FOIL the bottom. There's nothing else you can cancel out here. So basically, you can just leave it as x plus 3 and then 2x plus 1. I think I have one in the synchronous live class that were like almost everything cancels. Those are kind of fun. But this one, leave it be just like this. You can't cancel anything else out. You are done. And ladies and gentlemen, that is week 5. If there's questions, please email me. Otherwise, that's going to be it. And we will stop the video. Oh, good. It kept going.